clock? Oh, you already know what it is, man. Ooh and Jay, they coming through. Straight no chaser. Straight from the hip.
Straight from the hip, don't need no script, just need a microphone. My man Coach Boo gon' take you to the entertainment zone. They got the stats of this and that to keep this show on point. And when we're done, we have some fun and rock this funky joint. So if you will, sit back and chill, give us a chance to show ya. If one of y'all would like to call, we'll talk just like we know ya. We take control, then start the roll, and then there ain't no stopping. It's time to dip straight from the hip. Hey, yo, let's get it poppin'.
Any scores, highlights, etc.? Absolutely. We'll kind of do a quick rundown of this past week. The biggest upset of the week was LSU beating Florida, who was number 6 at the time. So that probably just knocked off Florida for any hope of making the college football playoff, even if they were to beat Alabama next week in the SEC championship game.
If you remember last week, Florida was your number 4, I believe. Florida was my number 6. So I told you Texas A&M was playing better football than they were. So one of us saw that coming.
I don't remember you coming out and saying you saw LSU.
Yes, I did. Well, you need to take your ass back and look at that show, because I said Florida A&M been playing a lot better than Florida, and I said not Florida, but Texas A&M been playing a lot better than Florida, and I'm taking Florida out. I put Ohio State at 5, and I put Florida at 6. Check the books.
Okay. Also, Georgia got a pretty convincing win at Missouri, who was a top 25 team. I don't think anyone was really surprised about that.
Nobody surprised about that.
Yep. And then the other kind of notable game in terms of the rankings was North Carolina pulled the upset over top 10 Miami. They just ran up and down at Miami as well, too. So,
look, man, I was looking for Manny Diaz to be – I didn't think he was going to make the trip back to the locker room. I thought AD was going to catch him on the field, but like, hey, man, you don't have to come to work on Monday. Just let you know that.
I'm not that shocked about it. I think they're both about the equal between UNC and Miami. So I wasn't that shocked about it. The other thing we will mention real quick, there was history made this past Saturday in college football by a Vanderbilt Commodore football player, Miss Sarah Fuller, the first female to score Power 5 school. She got 2 extra points.
Listen, man, let me say this.
Before you start,
I'm happy for her. Congratulations.
Congratulations. Hold on. I just want to put a disclaimer in front of whatever happens from this point on.
Come on.
You speaking about each individual on this show is the sole views of that individual on the show. Any views expressed that you don't agree with, take it up with that sole individual on that show. I'm generally the show at hand. I am actually happy for her. Congratulations. Way to go.
Okay. I'm happy for her too.
Go ahead, Coach. You can continue.
I'm happy for her too. And I'm happy that somebody walked on the moon one day. But you know, a lot of people say when they walked on the moon, they had all kind of cameras set up in some studio somewhere, and they didn't really walk on the moon because of that. And when I kept watching that replay, I just didn't see the rush that I think that you don't. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying, Jay. That's all.
That's a reasonable assessment. That is a reasonable assessment. Hey, congratulations to her. Yes, she did something that other kickers couldn't do, which is make an extra point. So don't be. Well, let's dive into it. Me, Travis, my wife talked about it Sunday when he was over watching the NFL. We talked about it. Well, let's dive right into it. Like, I didn't see nothing about it. I didn't read nothing about it. I'm only going off what Coach has said, what Travis has said, what my wife has said. My issue is if you're going to have someone, be groundbreaking like this, usually you pick them for 2 reasons. You pick them because they're good enough talent-wise to be where they're at. And the second reason you pick them is because whatever controversy that may come, you feel they're strong enough to take or handle that controversy. My issue is with the first one. From what everybody's telling me, she isn't that good of a kicker in the football. I heard she's a great soccer player, but in football. So at a visual point, you are opening her up to critics that are saying you're only doing this because you're trying to, quote unquote, force diversity or force this historic moment. You're not doing this because she beat out other kickers and she was the best option or choice for this. Was that now you're setting her up for scrutiny for people that will jump on that bandwagon and go, well, that was Vanderbilt just doing this to make headlines, or they just trying to do this to stay relevant, rather than they're doing this because she actually was the most qualified person to be the kicker for Vanderbilt. So I don't know what you feel about that, Coach, or what are your thoughts on that? And people in the comments, what are your thoughts about that?
Yeah, we had this last week, and I felt that I'm my university, Vanderbilt, the first female in the history is that. I'm sure she'll have a bronze somewhere.
Coach, I think we lost you, Coach. Till we get him back. Travis, what are your thoughts on that?
All I can say is, hey, like, it's hard to criticize her when she went 2 for 2 on her extra points, right? Like, at the end of the day, she had one job to do. It was kick the extra point. It may not have been the best kick. It may not have been the most flashy kick, but it got the job done. It got the extra point, right? Mm-hmm. So it's just like any other position in football. You're asked to do something. You may not be the best at it. It may not look great, but the results show that it got done. So congratulations to her. She was put in a difficult situation. Let's not forget that she came in halfway through the season, and she used to be a soccer player. So, like, it's not like she's been training with the team. It's not like she's got all this time that she can spend with the snapper and the holder and get all the timing right that needs to happen for any type of kicker to make it look spectacular.
Right.
It happened. She made every kick they ever asked her to make, right? Like, okay. So
and Travis, just so you know, I'm not criticizing her.
I'm not saying you are. I'm not saying you are.
Okay. My whole thing is that I'm just looking at the whole situation. And I just think the whole situation is a little funky for me.
Okay, Jerry said that he heard that she was the only option due to the team with, I guess, because of COVID, and he said she can still kick better than 95% of the fans say it's PR stunt. Which, Jerry, hey, look, I will tell you, I can't kick nothing. I just don't want anybody to have to go through a situation where people are making her historic moment invalid because they felt like it was kind of handed to her on a platter rather than her going out and being the best at the position. That was
I agree.
But again, Jerry, I'm with you. Sometimes if you can't do it, shut the hell up. And yep. I fall in that boat. I can't do it, so maybe I should shut the hell up. And I ain't even seen her kick, so I really should shut the hell up. This is why I don't talk about college football. All right.
Okay. Well, this upcoming week is championship week, so I have 4 championship games. No, I did not include the Pac-12 for you guys, so we will skip the Pac-12. You're welcome. First up, I'll just start off number 1, SEC, Bama versus Florida. Any chance for Florida, Coach?
Hell no. Not just no. Hell no.
I agree. I think Bama wins by at least 17 points. I think they're going to be putting a statement out.
If somebody gave you Bama versus the field, what are you guys taking right now?
Bama.
Yeah, I'm Bama.
Okay.
Yeah, Bama. I think they're clearly the number 1 team in the country.
They are.
Thread to texting with you guys. You guys will take Bama or the field right now.
Next up, Big Ten, Northwestern and Ohio State.
Ohio State's going to beat Northwestern. It probably won't be by that much, but Ohio State's going to win. Ohio State, I don't believe, is as good as people think they are. I don't think they're as good as they think they are for sure. I don't think they're as good as the Big Ten Conference. I know, they want them to represent them, and that's why they've cheated and changed the rules and gone back talked and backtracked and all this other stuff. I mean, backslid. Everything they could do to get Ohio State in there. They made a rule you couldn't play if you didn't have 6 games, and then calling the emergency meeting because they knew Michigan wasn't going to play them. They knew that Michigan had a chance to hurt them. They were going to take that chance, and they did. And they tried to get out of it, but at the end of the day, Ohio State's going to play. I don't think they can beat Alabama or Clemson. So I think if Ohio State has plays one of them, they're gonna lose, and then they're gonna probably have to play one of them, probably Alabama, out the rip, and it's gonna be a mud stomping.
Michael Kilbrew said he would take the field over Alabama.
Okay.
That's because his son going to Georgia, so he's an Alabama hater. That's all that is. You ought to be shaming yourself, Kilbrew. Shame yourself.
The only reason I'm going to mention this one is because this team does still have an outside shot at making the playoffs. So Oklahoma or number 6 Iowa State.
Is there anybody else playing? I mean, anybody else we can talk about? I mean, who wants to see that?
Again, and I'll talk about the scenario that I think Iowa State could make the playoffs. But
somebody raise your hand on here if you want to see that game. It's I just want to see if one person is interested, other than Travis, in seeing that game. You gotta be kidding me.
What's the next one?
Clemson Notre Dame ACC championship.
Yeah, Clemson gonna beat the crap out of Notre Dame, and I hate it. Clark Lee is the new head coach at Vanderbilt. He's currently the defensive coordinator at Notre Dame. I'm a big fan of his. Very happy he's coming to Vanderbilt. But I just don't think that Notre Dame. I think Notre Dame got a lot of hype because they beat Clemson. I mean, not only was Trevor Lawrence not on the field, I found out recently they had like 2 or 3 more starters didn't play that game. Dude, and I mean, they had to go into double overtime to beat them without those guys. So I don't know how you're going to beat them with those guys in there. I just don't.
All right. Joe said Ohio State won the first undisputed championship at number 4.
That is correct. They just gave the ball to Ezekiel Elliott every play, basically. But
yeah, now Joe is also a big-time Cleveland Brown fan. For all you guys out there, he's obviously an Ohio homer, and that's why he's doing all this. Ohio State, Cleveland, Cincinnati Reds, all this stuff. I mean, Ohio State basketball.
You got on that.
You mentioned it. I was just about to talk about it. Vanderbilt just got their new head coach, the defensive coordinator from Notre Dame. Did I read that he's a former Vanderbilt alumni? Is that correct?
He is, and he's born and raised in Nashville.
Okay. You excited about that hire? Do you know him?
Very excited. I went on Facebook and we have all kind of alumni sites, and I was putting out there on every site, y'all need to get Clark Lee. So they were talking about all these other clowns out there from all over the country and Coastal Carolina's coach and all these little small time division coach. I said, man, no, get Clark Lee. That's what we need to do. We need to, if he says no, then we move on to the next one. But do everything you can to get him. And I've been having people call me from all over saying, well, you got your wish. And I did, and I'm very happy.
Okay.
Joe said no Reds, only the Cleveland Indians. That really tells you he's the homer.
I'm a Reds fan, so.
Well, give me a list of your 3 favorites for Heisman. Write that down. Okay, let's go into the top 5 college football rankings, which will probably be the last top 5 unless something crazy happens in the bowl games. Coach, let's start off with you this time. What is your top 5 for the college football rankings?
Just what I said last week. It hadn't changed. Alabama's number 1, Clemson's number 2. I'm gonna leave Notre Dame at 3 right now. Put Texas A&M at 4, and then I'm gonna go ahead and give Ohio State 5 because Florida's just not playing well right now. Florida will be my 6 if I was going 6. So I'm just saying that to let you know who I'm gonna put Ohio State over for now.
Okay, Travis, your top 5.
Alabama 1, Notre Dame 2, Ohio State 3, Clemson 4.
Oh my God.
Texas A&M 5.
All right. Okay.
What happened to Florida, Travis? Travis, what happened to Florida?
They lost, so they're out.
Oh, you all high on Florida last week. You had them like number 3 or 4. Now they done dropped out of the damn top 5.
Okay, so who do you have for your Heisman hopefuls right now?
Okay, I'll actually give you the top 4.
Oh, I wanted 3 just for percentages. That's why.
Okay.
But go ahead, go for it.
Okay. Mac Jones, the quarterback for Alabama. I think he's the favorite right now.
Oh, my God.
So just give me your 4. Give me your 4.
Mac Jones, Justin Fields.
Okay.
Kyle Trask.
Okay. And then I can't think of the name off the top of my head, but the running back for Iowa State. Breece Hall, I think is the guy's name. Okay, let's do the percentage game again. Let's throw real quick percentages of who you think odds to win the Heisman Trophy. You guys down there in the threads, you guys can put up percentages as well. So you said Mac Jones from Alabama. Yep. Who else? Justin Fields from Ohio State. Quarterback. Who else? Kyle Trask. Okay. The Florida quarterback. Okay.
Another quarterback.
And then the Iowa State
running back.
Okay. What are your odds right now for who will win? You're at the Stag Room right now. Stag Room, my leader right now would be Mac Jones. How much percentage do you think he'll win it? Right now, I would put him the favorite at 40%. Okay, go ahead. I would then put Justin Fields would be 2. He is probably I'd put him at 30%. Okay, so 70% total. All right. Yep. You got Kyle Trask at 25%. Okay. And then the running back 5%. Okay. There's your 100. Give or take. All right, Coach.
Well, it would help if he had the right 4 in there to begin with. That's number one. I
know he's taking up the running back.
Let me ask you this, Travis. Who are they saying is going to be the first player picked overall?
That doesn't mean he's going to win the Heisman, but your answer would be Trevor Lawrence.
Okay.
That win the Heisman.
Well, it might should say he needs to be winning the Heisman, especially when you got other people in his position in front of him. You didn't even mention him. How the hell can he be the first overall draft pick and your ass didn't even mention him? I mean, didn't even bring him up. Didn't even say, well, I would put Trevor in there, but he had to sit out a game for COVID. So therefore, I mean, you didn't even mention him. And everybody knows he is overwhelmingly, hands above everybody, gonna be the first pick overall. And you didn't even put him in the damn conversation. How is that, Travis? Ask anybody on this show right now watching, ask any sportscaster in America, who the number 1 overall. They keep on saying everybody tanking for Trevor. They got a hashtag for it. Tanking for Trevor. You ain't even mentioned the man. How is that?
Again, you don't have to win the Heisman to be the number 1 overall pick.
He ain't even in the discussion, though. Okay, I can't wait to see what Mac Jones, your favorite to win the Heisman, his ass might not even get drafted. Trevor Lawrence is number 1. It's going to be between Trevor Lawrence will be 1, Justin Fields will be 2. Okay. And it might be Trask down there in Florida be 3. And after that, it doesn't even matter. I wouldn't go no more than 3, Jason. So my answer is going to be, I'm going to give Trevor the nod at 45 and let them other 2 split it for the rest of them because it don't even matter. Okay. 28 and 27, whatever.
All right, that works from there. Anyone left on college football? Real quick, I know we just talked about this upcoming games, the college conference championship games. By the time we get to next week, the top 4 playoff teams will be announced. So who do you think will be the top 4, Coach?
I think it's going to be Alabama, clearly, Clemson. I think they're going to keep Notre Dame in there. And then after that, I mean, honestly, that 4th slot, it's just going to depend on what happens this weekend. I mean, if Ohio State doesn't convincingly beat Northwestern, let them have to go to overtime or let them beat them by a field goal or something like that. Dude, everybody's going to be screaming for them not to be in there. I can tell you that right now. So, like I said, I know for sure those other 3. I feel like for sure those other 3 will be in there, and then we'll go from there.
All right. Well, we're going to take before we jump off college. We want to give a shout out to friend of the show, pretty much family of the show, Tyler Goodson up in Iowa, just doing his thing, balling out. Coach, just talk real quickly about your time coaching Tyler and how have you transitioned so well into college football? And
I'm gonna tell you why I like this young man. He is as good, if not better, kid off the field than he is on the field. And as you can see, he's something very special on the field. And another thing that makes Tyler Goodson just a phenomenal kid and a phenomenal player is if you look at all he's had to overcome, having the parents that he has, I mean,
I knew that was coming.
I mean, everybody on this show should know that he has had to overcome a lot. I mean, it's kind of like, Mowgli or whatever his name was on the Jungle Book, being raised by
Mowgli. No, Mowgli.
Whatever his name is. Yeah. Well, you being raised like that. I mean, just by savages. So, I mean,
we don't need no more show.
So with that being said, I mean, for him to be picked, first team All Big Ten, I'm being serious now. First team All Big Ten, dude, you're a Power 5 guy being on the first team, and I mean, he's only a sophomore. I mean, that speaks very, very highly of him. Now, when he comes home, yeah, I get him. He'll get in there in the gym with me for a few days, and I put it on him and all that. But at the end of the day, he's an extremely hard worker, and the boy's heart, like Derek Thomas once said to me one time, he said, "Boo, the thing that makes me different from everybody else?" He said, "If you cut me open right now, my heart would fill up this room." I'll never forget that when Derek Thomas told me that. And when I think about Tyler, I think that's the kind of kid he is. He's got the biggest heart, and he loves the game like he does, and so he puts in the work and whatnot. And that's why he's an exceptional athlete and an exceptional person.
Absolutely. And when you said he was first team All Big Ten?
First team All Big Ten running back.
Yep. And that's by the coaches and the media.
Yep. That is amazing. That's amazing. Shout out to the Goodson family and Tyler. That's what's up. Let's go ahead and jump on to the NFL. Before we go there, please remember, guys, on YouTube and on our Facebook channel, Straight from the Hip, if you ever missed a show on Tuesday, Wednesday, about 6 p.m., I will have clips of this show. So if you just want to look at the NFL section, you can click that and listen to that, or the college football section, click and listen to that. If you want to just listen to some of the funnier moments of the show, we have a segment for that as well, clipped up. So if you do miss the show on Tuesdays, you can always rewatch the show on YouTube under Straight from the Hip and under Facebook under Straight from the Hip. It will be clipped up of the show. So guys, don't always feel the need that you missed the whole thing. You don't want to tune in. You can tune in the next day and see everything and all the highlights of the show. So just remember
real quick, before we get off college, let's just say this real quick. We'll just make this statement. Guys, that coaching carousel has started, as you see. Kevin Sumlin out at Arizona, Lovie Smith out at Illinois, Gus Malzahn out at Auburn. So, I mean, and look for more heads to roll. I mean, guys, it's like I try to tell people. This is a business. I mean, this is a multi-billion-dollar business when you talk about collegiate sports. And at the end of the day, those jokers are like CEOs. And if you ain't getting it done, you got to go.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. All right. Speaking of that, let's jump into the NFL.
First up, Rams beat the Patriots.
Oh, man. I mean, I don't think there's really nothing to say about this game. I think Cam looks worse and worse every single game. The only question I have for you, Coach, is legitimately, what round would the Rams lose and get knocked out of the playoffs?
Yeah, the Rams are, listen, the only thing keeping the Rams going is that defense. When you got Aaron Donald, and he'll probably be the defensive player of the year again. I know some people want to say Chase Young. Chase Young will be the defensive rookie of the year, and there's no doubt about that. But as far as the defensive player of the year, it's going to be Aaron Donald. I mean, he's too much to handle. And he's a one-man wrecking crew, and he's keeping them in some games and whatnot. But the Rams aren't a good football team, in my opinion. I mean, McVay had his 1 year where he seemed like he was a genius and whatnot. Everybody's caught up to him now. He ain't fooling anybody. Jared Goff, y'all know I've always had my reservations about Jared Goff. I don't think that they're a quality football team right now, and I don't think they'll go far. I mean, they'll probably be one and done if they make it to the playoffs.
All right, if both of you guys had to choose right now, Aaron Donald, Nick Bosa, and Chase Young, 5 years from now, which one would you want on your team?
I'm taking Aaron Donald.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. I would take Donald.
All right. What's the next game?
And to answer your question, second round.
Okay, second round knockout
is what I think, because I think they're probably going to end up facing the winner of the NFC East. So I'll give them the win, but then they'll lose in the second round.
I ain't gonna give them that.
I think Myles Garrett's a bad man too. Don't get it twisted, Joe. I didn't want to leave him out of that, but I was just looking just to see the young guns in there and see where they would rank them. So
he would be fourth. He would be fourth in that lineup, though. Still, Joe.
Yeah.
He's still a Brown.
All right, next one.
That's not the reason why I picked him, but Dallas beat the pants off the Bengals. Congratulations.
All right, there's no question to be asked there, so we got the next one.
Okay, good. Chicago beat the hapless Texans.
Nobody cares. Nobody cares about either one of them teams.
Okay. Chiefs over Dolphins.
I do want to ask a question about this one. The Chiefs over the Dolphins. Are we seeing a situation with the Chiefs right now that I don't want to say exposing a flaw because they won the game, so you can't really call it a flaw when you win the game. But are we seeing a situation with the Chiefs that they are playing only when they need to play rather than playing how they should play? Do you
Absolutely.
see an issue kind of later down the road, or will they just flip the switch?
Absolutely. Here's the deal. And I mean, when you're as good as they are, talent as they have, they get bored. I mean, there's only so many games they're going to get up for. The Miami Dolphins isn't one of them. And, like you said, Jason, they still got enough talent that at the end they can put their foot on the gas and win the race. But I think they're just bored right now. I think they're waiting and wanting the playoffs to hurry up and start. That'll give them more energy and whatnot to understand, okay, we got a shot at repeating, for the Super Bowl. And then they'll turn the gas back on. But right now, I mean, unless they've got some big games on their schedule, I can see them dropping another game.
Okay. And I want to switch that question. Something that Travis asked last week about the run game. I want to flip it and go, if you are coaching the Chiefs right now, Coach, how do you put a jolt of energy into the run game? Or is that something that the point you are what you are right now and you just ride it out?
Well, no, I think you definitely need to run the ball more. They need to run the ball, and that will help everything. But in order to do that, what you're going to have to do is that you got to sit down and talk with the quarterback because he might be audible and out of some of those run plays. The call comes in from the sideline, but still on the field, the quarterback, a lot of times in cases like I think Patrick Mahomes has, when they trust you, they'll allow you to audible out and do something else. And so, if you see cover zero and you got some man-to-man opportunities, he might audible out and call another play. And that's what all that stuff he's saying up there is doing. And I think he might be doing that a little bit too much sometimes. So first thing you have to do is say, hey, man, stay with some of those running plays and let's run the ball some. Because when they were running the ball earlier this year with the little running back from LSU, he was killing it. I think he was on pace to be over 1,000 yards rushing. And now all of a sudden it seems like they throw the ball every damn down all of a sudden. So he's going to have to kind of stick with the run more and then let them move the ball on the ground.
And I was saying, I'm not a huge Clyde Edwards-Helaire fan. Like, even I'm talking in the pros. I think he's just another guy, man. I want to get Travis' thoughts on that and go to you, Coach. Maybe I'm watching the wrong tape, but just I don't see the burst. I don't see the quickness that they all talked about. It just looks like 2 yards in a cloud of dust for me. So I don't know, Travis. Am I off on this, or you guys seeing something different?
So we've had conversations about this throughout the year. I liked him at the beginning of the season. I actually did see the burst. I saw the explosiveness at the beginning of the season, but the last about month, you're right. I think it's gone. I don't know if it's either I was seeing something that wasn't there in the beginning, or just as rookies do, especially a running back, he's kind of hit that rookie wall. He's getting tired and he's kind of declined. But probably the last month, he has really taken a dip. It's hard to say that he doesn't have it because, like I said, I saw it at the beginning of the year. I think it's just the fact that he's hit a wall and he's just another guy right now, and he doesn't express it.
Well, part of the wall that he hit is what I just told you. They're not greasing him enough. You're a running back and all you're back there doing is pass protecting because your damn quarterback wants to throw the ball every time and he's not putting the ball in your hands. Dude, he's sitting back there thinking, I'm not a damn offensive lineman. I mean, I'm not going to keep on taking on these damn running backs, running 4-4 into this backfield, and I got to stand between them and the quarterback. I'm sick of that shit. I mean, give me the ball some. So, and like you just said, in about the last month, and in about last month is where they've been throwing the ball every single down for about the last 4 games. Like you said, the beginning of the season had a very nice mix. They were probably 50-50 on the run pass. And then all of a sudden they got pass happy, where now all Mahomes wants to do is throw the dang ball. And I can tell you right now, any running back would be like that. I mean, it's like, dude, I am a first-round draft pick. They didn't just draft me to come in here and block. And I mean, I was doing fine when you were giving me the ball. Why am I not getting the ball? And I mean, that is a legitimate complaint from a running back in his situation. So I think that's where the problem lies.
Absolutely. And Jay, you and I talked about it earlier in the year when we would watch some of Clyde Edwards-Helaire, and I think I pointed it out that he seems like the type of running back. He's got to get the ball 6, 7, 8 times to really get going. He's not the type.
I agree.
To get the ball once or twice and he's going to go. He's got to get rolling. He's got to get lathered up, and I think that's what's hurting him.
Okay? I agree.
So to that, Cardinals over the Giants.
Cardinals over the Giants. All right, are we ready to start greasing the Giants' wheels? Also, too, are we ready to downgrade the Cardinals? Like, which one? Are we upgrading the Giants or are we downgrading the Cardinals?
I mean, I'm doing a little bit of both, to be honest with you. I think that Kyler Murray isn't as good. Daniel Jones is showing some signs that he might be good one day. I mean, you know, it's and like I said, I just keep it real. I thought Daniel Jones stank last year, was terrible, you know, but this year he looked a little bit better. I felt like Kyler Murray looked good at the beginning of the season. He's the one that looks tired to me. I mean, every time he comes on the football field, he takes his helmet off, it looks like he hadn't had a bath in like 3 weeks. I mean, he looks like he's homeless. I mean, just look like he just slept in a jail cell last night. I mean, that's what it looks like to me when he just looks like he's worn out.
Also, we'll save it for next week. We'll see how it plays out. But I want to have an interesting conversation about, would you trade Saquon Barkley? Don't nobody answer. Let it fester in your mind how well the Giants are playing. That defense is top notch. They've been having a decent running game without him. We'll talk about that next week. If it's a possibility, should you trade Saquon Barkley to better your team? Let's go to the next game.
Just remember, you asking the man who's been trying to get rid of Julio's ass for the last decade.
Tampa Bay beat the Vikings.
Oh, my gosh. All right. Are we officially going to think that Tampa Bay is going to do something? Like, are they going to flip the switch a la the Chiefs? Or is this what they are?
Travis? Well, here's the thing.
I think they're just another team that's just slightly above 500. And I think they get the advantage of being in the NFC South.
Okay, Coach.
Well, I mean, a lot of people get the advantage of being in bad. I mean, name one team that doesn't get that advantage, Travis. I mean, in your division, we know that there's an advantage there. I mean, am I right or wrong? I don't know how you're going to try to front. What about the NFC East you just talked about a few minutes ago about being boo-boo, and now all of a sudden you're going to try and talk about the NFC South?
I think the NFC West, I think, is a real tough division. So
that's one. That's the only division in football that's even tough. Okay, all the rest of them suck. Let's talk about your favorite team division. Is your favorite team, do they have a tough division? Cincinnati Bengals. Are they in a tough division?
Yes.
This year,
yes.
How?
You got 2 teams that are going to make the playoffs, and you got a third that may make the playoffs. They're right on the edge.
You know that division stinks, and you know it does.
Tell me another.
The NFC South stinks because of what they got in there. We know that's right now. The damn Saints don't even look good right now. And I'm gonna tell you this: I think that talent-wise, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers have a very good football team. Now, Brady isn't Brady anymore. We've talked about that for a couple of years here. But if Brady does get that little playoff buzz and starts completing a little bit more of those long balls, they're a whole different football team. And then I don't know what they're going to do with Fournette. I don't know what that's all about. of what he's gonna do. But they might need to go ahead and get rid of him. But like I said, and that's what everybody's saying is gonna happen because he was a healthy scratch this week. So they're not even gonna dress him, but there's nothing wrong with it. So that tells you right there. I mean, this might be his last year.
They may need to use him next few weeks because Ronald Jones just went in for surgery. So who knows how long he's going to be out, if any. So,
but no, you didn't read the report I saw. It said he got a pin put in his finger, but they're saying he can play with it.
All right, next one.
Denver beat the Carolina Panthers.
No, man, I don't think it's so. Unless Coach got something for this one, I got nothing for that.
No,
man, please.
Okay.
Which one of the 8 quarterbacks they had played in Denver? They got about 8 quarterbacks that they played.
Just to answer your question, Drew Lock was the quarterback. Okay.
And the rumor is that John Elway is really Drew Lock, and then he dresses up as Drew Lock. That's his alias, and he goes out there and plays on Sunday sometime.
Okay. Tennessee beat the Jaguars.
All right, Tennessee. Here's the thing with Tennessee. We talked about the whole, I think, the Derrick Henry effect. When he's up, he's up. When he's down, he's down. At this point, what do you think will it take? What will it take for Tennessee to make the Super Bowl? Because that's what everybody's goal is. What will it take for Tennessee to win a Super Bowl? Do you see this in this team? What will it take, Coach?
I don't see him win the Super Bowl. Not with this team. I mean, Derrick Henry is their guy, and Tannehill catches on fire every now and then, and he has some moments. But I just don't think that as a whole team, when you think about offensive line, defensive line, all of that, I don't think they have the pieces in place. I read an article not too long ago that said that there's 5 pieces you must have in order to have a championship caliber football team make it to the Super Bowl. Got to have a quarterback. Quarterback's got must. And Tannehill borderline that. Got to have a lockdown corner. I don't know that they have a lockdown corner. Got to have a kill it pass rusher. Got to have that. You got to have a go get it wide receiver. I'm not sure they have that. And then you got to have one more. It is not running back. Let me think of what it is. It's one more position that's a must have. And like I said, they don't have half of what I've already said. I'll think of the other position here in a second. But they said there's 5 positions that you got to have, and that's I don't think they have any of them. And Henry, and one of them isn't a tailback. I know it's not the tailback, and because they say you can get by with an average tailback, and Henry is their guy, and I mean that's the best part of their team.
We think it's an offensive line,
probably offensive line.
That's what it is. The offensive lineman. You gotta have a left tackle. So most coaches are right, or most quarterbacks are right-handed. It's a left tackle. That's what it is.
Name game with Tannehill. Go ahead, Travis. You got anything on the name game for Tannehill?
Yeah. Well, first I'll answer your question. What would it take for Tennessee to make playoffs? So I actually think they could. They would have to get kind of the same play that they got last year. Derrick Henry needs to run for about 200 yards a game, which we see he can do.
Yeah.
A.J. Brown has come into his own this year as a legit number 1 wide receiver, and Tannehill just can't basically not screw up, which we've seen he can do. I think the biggest thing that they would really need is they need some type of consistent pass rush on their D-line. They need someone like Jadeveon Clowney, who they have on their team, to show why they paid that much money for him to do that. Not saying that he's going to do that. I'm just trying to answer the question. I do think there is a way that they can make the playoffs, and it's run the ball, and keep the games close. And because they do have a solid defense. It's not great, but they can win with it.
I'm gonna make it easy for you. The only way Tennessee Titans win the Super Bowl is if all the Kansas City Chiefs get COVID, all the Pittsburgh Steelers get COVID, all the Baltimore possible Ravens get COVID, and they both think about canceling the season, but they go, well, we got 3 teams left. Let's just play it out. And then they go. That's the only way they win the Super Bowl.
I want to know if everybody likes the way Travis gives the same answer I do in a different way. I said they don't have all the pieces. And Travis said, well, yeah, I think they can, but they need a pass rusher. They need a better pass rusher. Well, goddamn, Travis, that's just what I just said. Is that not what I just said? I said they don't have all the pieces there. And then you come back and say, oh, yeah, because Jadeveon Clowney, he ain't the pass rusher. They're going to have to get somebody else for that. Isn't that what I just said?
Let's not even do the name game. I think we summed that up pretty good. What's the next one on there?
Colts Raiders.
Colts Raiders. All right, are we jumping on the Colts bandwagon soon? Anybody?
I'm not jumping on the bandwagon. They're a decent football team. I'm jumping off the Raiders bandwagon. So I thought the Raiders were a lot better than they are. And I know they got rid of their defensive coordinator. They fired the old man, Gunther, whatever his name is. They let him go. So maybe that'll help the defense now. And defense didn't have any faith in him. The players didn't have any faith in him at the point they'd gotten to. And so it was time for him to go. But I just don't think the Raiders are a good football team right now. And I'm not ready to crown, the Colts as being something special either.
Agreed. Well, it's funny. Me and Travis actually did an exercise on Sunday. We went through the Raiders' schedule, and we talked about what games we thought they would win before the season started. You actually go through that, they actually have won more games than you would have thought they would have won at the beginning of the season. I think it's when they beat Kansas City, we got inflated a little bit with them, and then they played Kansas City close, and then they beat one more team I think we talked about that they weren't supposed to beat.
Yep.
And then I think the Raiders are way better than what they thought we were supposed to be. Because if you go through that schedule, a lot of times you'll be like, lost, and you actually look at the real results. They won some games they weren't supposed to. So I'm with you, Coach. I'm off the bandwagon, but I do think they played way above their means.
I agree.
What's your next one there?
Seattle destroyed the New York Jets.
Are we worried about Seattle? I know we talked about it. I know I'm the Russell Wilson fan club fanboy stan. But should we be concerned about Seattle? Because they beat up on the Jets. It's the Jets. But besides that, they haven't looked really particularly sharp in most of these games. Any concern there, Coach?
Yeah, I would definitely have some concern. I think that there's some concern there that definitely needs to be addressed. But, at the end of the day, guys, it's hard when you're doing this whole COVID thing and nobody knows the mentality and what's going on. I think some of these guys are starting to worry because they're hearing about these bubbles that they're talking about having for the playoffs. And guys are starting to get troubled about that, already complaining, calling their NFL player rep about not having to go in a bubble. All of that stuff, it starts to mess with your psyche and everything else. So when it's more than just football, just let us play football. If it was that, I think you see some differences in some things. But I think that there's a lot of cause to worry right there for them.
I actually am not actually that concerned.
Okay.
And my reason is actually because they're getting their running back, Chris Carson, back. Well, he just came back, right?
Mm-hmm.
So he's been out for, a month or so, maybe a little more. So without that, and Chris Carson, for anyone that doesn't watch Seattle, because of course we're here in Atlanta, they use Chris Carson at just handing the ball off, coming out of the backfield, throwing the ball. He's a big part of that offense. And
he's a monster.
And he's a legitimate, healthy running back. I actually think that helps Seattle, and they can start running the ball effectively, which then can take the pressure off of Russell Wilson just a little bit, just enough so that they can do the play action with DK and Tyler Lockett.
That's a good point.
So
That's a good point.
I actually like where Seattle's at right now. We know Russell Wilson, what's the expression? Let Russ cook, right? We know he's a fantastic quarterback, and he doesn't need all the pieces on his team to win games. We've seen it this year. But now that he's getting the pieces back, as long as everyone stays healthy now, I think that they're a legitimate NFC champion Super Bowl contender because
I don't mind letting Russ cook. I think sometimes you need to give him the menu. Because a lot of times he want to cook them mustard greens and chitlins when he's supposed to be cooking lobster tails and shrimp. So that's my whole thing about let Russ cook. Because they need to hand the ball off more and let Chris Carson do his thing like you're talking about, instead of always trying to get the ball to DK Metcalf. Yeah. Now that they've anointed him as being the best receiver in football.
I agree.
I had a follow-up question, but I think it's best to leave it there with chitlins and mustard greens.
Never had that. Green Bay over the Lions.
Oh, Green Bay over the Lions. Nah, we're not going to talk about Matthew Stafford this week. We're gonna
I just saw your thing on Matthew Stafford.
We're going to let Matthew Stafford breathe this week, finally. Because
I just saw your thing on Matthew Stafford, and that thing had me crying.
I'm tired of it.
Stafford.
Let's talk about the bad man himself, Aaron Rodgers. If Aaron Rodgers wins the Super Bowl this year, where do you rank him in your all-time quarterback rankings?
He'll be up there. I mean, he's. I don't care if he doesn't win the Super Bowl in my all-time rankings. He'll be up there amongst the best. I mean, he's top 5 in my opinion. I don't know. It's just it's very difficult to do because when you think about quarterbacks like Joe Namath and you think about Roger Staubach and Terry Bradshaw and the guys that I grew up watching, it's hard to think about where you rank them with the quarterbacks of today. When you're looking at all these RPO, Cam Newton, Lamar Jackson, MVP who runs more than he throws the ball. I mean, all that. It's just it will be so hard to try to rank the eras against each other. But I know that whatever system you're going to use, Aaron Rodgers got to be up there just because he's one of those guys who can, and he kills you with the run too now. He can still run. He can still move outside that pocket. And it's the way that he throws the ball when he is moving like that makes him special.
What do you have him, top 10 or top 5?
I'd have him top 5 for me.
Oh, wow. Travis, top 10 or top 5?
Well, I'm actually writing my list down. So I have him in the top 10 because I still have Brady, Elway, Favre, Carson Palmer, Peyton Manning. No, I'm kidding about Carson Palmer. But I have him in top 10.
We believed you.
I thought you were kidding about half your list. I thought half your list you were kidding about. You gonna put Elway in front of him for what? How would you put Elway in front of him? Shit, you crazy, man.
Quarterback. Eagles pull the upset over the New Orleans Saints.
Oh, it's someone we can do a whole show on that game, but I want to start with the first and foremost thing. We talked last week about Jalen Hurts, and I think Coach said it best. His mobility would add to the Eagles and make them more successful. Now that we see what we got to take to Jalen Hurts at this point. Do you think that he can be a competent starting quarterback in this league to playing the way he played this Sunday?
Well, Lamar Jackson was the MVP for playing that way. How you gonna shake your head, Travis, when you are a Lamar Jackson lover and he played the game exactly the way Lamar Jackson plays it, and you over there doing your head like this while Jason talking? Why in the hell can't he do it if damn Lamar Jackson can do it?
I think there's a difference between Jalen Hurts and Lamar Jackson. Also,
yeah, Jalen Hurts can actually throw the ball. That's the difference.
Let's not forget that there hasn't been much tape of Jalen Hurts, so the Saints didn't have much to go on. A half maybe at the most to go on, so they didn't have a lot to know exactly what to prepare for. I think once more tape is out there and he plays some more games, I think the NFL will adjust to Jalen Hurts.
I think that's overrated. At the end of the day, there's all kind of tape out there. There's Kyler Murray tape. He's the same type of damn quarterback Kyler Murray is. He's the same type of quarterback that Russell Wilson is. There's 3 or 4 quarterbacks out there that he's like. I mean, it's that simple. I mean, the bottom line is that that's what this era is switching to anyway. So get into your whatever catalog you have of defenses. Use the one that says mobile running quarterback. That's what they need to plan on, because that's what he is. He rushed for over 100 yards. I mean, there you go. I mean, what more is there to say? I mean, what more do you need tape on or whatever? That's who he is. I mean, you can say, okay, well, he doesn't throw the ball as well running to the left as he does to the right. Well, yeah, because he's right-handed. I mean, of course. So like I said, I mean, I don't want to hear that. And especially I want to hear that from you when you the big Lamar Jackson is the best quarterback in the league said that like a damn month ago, and now a quarterback just like him, you say ain't gonna make it in the NFL. Ain't even gonna make it.
I'm gonna give him some bail. I don't think he's never been high on Lamar Jackson.
Thank you.
I'll give Travis some bail on that one. He just respects the game of it. On a side note, Taysom Hill, is this the beginning of the end?
Yeah, he showed that he's not really a quarterback. I mean, he's a Swiss Army knife, and that quarterback blade got a little dull this weekend. And I mean that's all it is. I mean, at the end of the day, he's not supposed to be a quarterback. I mean, y'all see the way he runs over people and catches the ball, and he is a talent that they need on that team. He's not just a pure quarterback, and he never will be.
All right, next one.
The Washington football team beat the 49ers.
We can move past that.
Yeah, that's Jason's team. I'm about to drop them, Jay. I about can't deal with them anymore. If they bring back Garoppolo, I might have to go.
I'll ask one question on that game. Have you ever seen a more dominant performance by a defensive line, and especially a player like Chase Young? I didn't watch Lawrence Taylor. I didn't watch much of Lawrence Taylor.
I was too young for Lawrence
Taylor. But have you ever seen a D-line and a player be that dominant on one game? The defense.
I tell you what, there was a D-line a couple of years ago that I think it was Aaron Donald and then Ndamukong Suh were on the same defensive line, and them jokers were just rough. I mean, they were nasty. That's what this line reminds me of, this defensive line. When you just watch the surge and when you see them taking those big fat linemen from any team and just pushing them back in the backfield like they're doing, that is impressive as hell. And I mean, half the time those offensive linemen look like they're on roller skates, just backpedaling and just sliding back. And so yeah, that's an impressive defensive line right there. That's why I don't know why Travis was talking about if they come out of the NFC East as the winners, and that's who LA's gonna have to play. LA's gonna have their damn hands full. I don't know why you think they're gonna beat them. I don't know why you think the Rams gonna beat them. Jared Goff gonna beat them, Travis? I don't know why you made that statement. That's Travis. That's what you said earlier, Travis.
I just said I would take the Rams. Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Washington football team favorite to come out of that division
right now?
Yes.
Yes.
Coach?
I would say so. I mean, it damn sure ain't Philadelphia, and it damn sure ain't Dallas. That like I said, now this is that powerhouse division that Travis talking about. All these divisions are so strong. Everybody's so strong, but anyway, man, all these divisions suck except the one out there on the whatever it is, the AFC North, whatever it is out. That's the only one.
All right, next one, Travis.
The Falcons lost to the Chargers.
Do we care? Do Coach care?
Listen, any Falcon loss.
Before you start, Coach, let's keep it respectful there. You weren't rooting for them to make the playoffs 2 weeks ago.
Yeah. Well, here's my thing. I'm rooting for them to do anything stupid. So if making the playoffs so that they get a bad pick, that's for me too. I'll take anything that's gonna hurt them. But here's my thing. Did you see what Matt Ryan did after the way he acted out? Look, dude, I don't know how y'all rock with them. He gonna slam his helmet on the ground. What is that gonna do? I mean, I don't think these guys understand. Now you're gonna walk around talking about how you are a role model and this, that, and the other. This man threw an interception, went over there, grabbed his helmet, and slammed it on the ground. What is that for? I mean, is that gonna take back that interception? I mean, grow up. I mean, you got to be kidding me. I just thought that was terrible. But I love watching them lose. I love watching the Falcons lose. But I'm just talking about brought sheer joy to my heart. And the only thing I was missing, Cincinnati already got their brains beat out. We knew that. And then the Falcons losing helped. But then I needed that icing on the cake. And when the Browns lost last night, hallelujah. I was so happy. I'm telling you. I'm talking about joy. I ain't gonna say happy. I'm talking about brought joy to my soul to have all three of these losers lose the way they did this week. Brought joy to my soul. But the Cleveland Brown fans, I know what y'all gonna say. Oh, well, hey, listen, for us to play them that close, I mean, after they killed us the first time, hey, I couldn't be more proud of our guys. Listen, I'm telling you right now, this group here, we're gonna make a run with this team. This I guarantee you, I promise you, we're going to the Super Bowl next year. That's what all the Cleveland Brown fans are saying right now. They're making promises for a Super Bowl appearance next year. I guarantee you they are.
Get your tickets ready. Oh my God. OJ said we need to rebuild. Bruh, God, give us a break. You know Coach ain't gonna give you no break on this one. All right. What's the next one you got?
Well, we already did the Browns, so good for them. Not. Last one, Buffalo beats Pittsburgh. Undefeated no more. I guess it's
they were already not undefeated. That was their second loss.
Yeah,
that's what I meant. Yeah.
So let's talk about Pittsburgh for a second here. We talked about with Kansas City, like jumpstarting the run game. We know, I mean, the Steelers just don't even run the ball. They just can't even run the ball anymore. What are the two issues right now? If you're Mike Tomlin, that you're hyper focused on correcting to get your team back on track, Coach?
First of all, he needs to take Ben Roethlisberger out back and beat his ass with a wire hanger for an hour and try to get him back to wherever he was at the beginning of the season. Roethlisberger looks like he is on game 19. I mean, that joker looks terrible. He looks like he is just exhausted. And I don't know what they're doing or what he's doing. I don't know about you, but it looked like his jersey has got a little bit tighter. I mean, he looks like he is fat as hell all of a sudden. And I don't know where it came from. I mean, I don't know what he's doing. He just does not seem fit at all. He used to be able to kind of do that little Roethlisberger shuffle around, in the pocket. All of a sudden, he is as immobile as any quarterback in the league. And I don't know how he's going to get it back.
So then what's your number two thing?
Number two, you got to fix the running game. Because that's what Pittsburgh's always been. Pittsburgh's always been a running team. And I don't know if it's the same thing. Roethlisberger trying to keep his numbers up with everybody else in the AFC, with Mahomes and them, audible out of plays and throwing the ball more. James Conner, he's never been that guy, but he's been serviceable. And he just needs to get back to at least being serviceable, where you can put Roethlisberger in third and short situations. Give me a 5-yard run. I can't have a 1-yard run on first down. Because now I'm already thinking, okay, second down, I'm going to have to pass this ball and whatnot, because there's no way we're going to get this first down. Got to have a better running game. And so, I mean, there's just so much to fix, Jason, in my opinion. I don't know that they're going to even make it to the Super Bowl when they were looking like they might have an undefeated season. I mean, they might have 2 more losses before the damn playoffs even get here.
They're going to play the Bengals one more time. So
that ain't going to be one of them.
That's what you said.
Guarantee that. That won't be a loss. I ain't tell you that much.
Let's talk about the Buffalo Bills. Can Josh Allen keep this going? Like, is this something that's sustainable, or is it just flukish? This year's flukish.
If anybody can answer that, you got a chance to be a GM in the NFL. I'll tell you that right now, because at the end of the day, you either need to go ahead and lock him down to a multi-year contract or something because of the way he's playing, or just go ahead and get rid of him and be ready to draft somebody else or whatever. Because, I mean, he's feast or famine right now. And right now he's feasting. And he's looking really good. He's making great decisions, making great throws. I mean, like I said, how can you not like him right now? And he's doing everything in the community. I mean, they did a little special on him the other day, talking about all the stuff he does outside of football. And, I mean, the man is a beast in the community. So why would you not like him? He's good right now.
All right, we're going to give our last one. We're going to throw you a bone, Joe. I know we kind of skimmed over the Cleveland thing, but, Coach, what has been the biggest reason for Cleveland's turnaround this year?
You know what? And I mean, this is going to sound really bad, but I believe it's true. I believe that, Baker Mayfield is playing his best And I want to say Baker started playing his best when Odell left. I think Odell, it might have been the pressure of having Odell, knowing that I got to feed him. If not, he's going to cuss me out on the sideline and talk about my mom and everything else. And so not having that, and, now you just got to really feed Jarvis Landry, which, he's looking for him on just about every play. I mean, you got, a good running back in Nick Chubb. You got a good pass rusher in Myles Garrett. So, I mean, you got most of the pieces that you need. And I think that pressure being off of Mayfield to get the ball to Odell, I think that I'm just saying that, call me crazy, but look at what's happened ever since Odell left. I mean, They look like a whole different football team.
All right, I want to ask you some real talk. Better chances to make the Super Bowl, the Tennessee Titans or the Cleveland Browns? Travis first, then Coach.
Tennessee.
Okay, Tennessee, Coach.
See, Travis, that's just unfair. and I can't stand the Browns. I know everybody thought I was going to say the Browns. But I'm telling you right now, I think the Browns have a better chance of making it. Now, they're going to get the hell beat out of them in the first round. But as far as making it, they got a chance of making it better than Tennessee right now. Because Tennessee ain't only got a run game. And Tennessee is, Derrick Henry could call them right now and say, hey, I was getting out of my car and I slipped on banana peel and landed on my butt and broke my tailbone, and they're done. It's over. It's over, Tennessee.
That could happen. Or Baker Mayfield could, get hurt with one of those Progressive commercials, and then they're done.
You know what? But I still think they'd have a better chance. They still got more of a supporting cast than Tennessee does. You still gonna have Landry. You still gonna have Nick Chubb. You still gonna have Myles Garrett. Dude, come on. And you gonna say Tennessee. You ought to be ashamed of yourself, Travis. We supposed to be fair on this show. And I'm fair. If nothing else, I'm fair. But like I said, I tell it like it is. And that's just wrong what you just did. That's just hating right there. That's straight hating.
Where in the hell is Derrick Henry going with people eating bananas like that? Where he can open his door and slip and fall on a banana. Where's Derrick Henry hanging out at? In the Congo?
I don't know. He might be in town hanging out in Magic City. Who knows?
I ain't been in Magic City in years, so please, people tell us, are there banana peels scattered in the parking lot at Magic City?
I don't know. Let's ask OJ Peavy. Peavy.
Peavy, don't mess around and answer that question. We'll get yourself in trouble. All right, guys. Well, that is our show. Let's go ahead and wrap it up.
Folks, we got to get out of here. I have seen so many names on here. It's crazy. Want to thank the Goodsons for being on here. Tom, I'll be back to see you soon. I'm coming in there to see a movie probably this weekend. Annette Hood, hey Miss Hood, I know you love you some Julio, and I hope one day you and Julio get it together before they fire him from Atlanta. But anyway, I don't know if Mr. Butler is Mr. Butler on here tonight. I didn't see Mr. Butler.
Yeah, he
on there.
Yeah.
Okay, so Mr. Butler was on here, but folks, we appreciate all y'all for being here. We're gonna get on off this thing now. We hope y'all will be here next week. We will definitely be here. We'll see y'all then. Good night, Miss Francis.
Right from the hip. Thank you guys for watching.